Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Savage T with Tactical Profits. This is going to be my first YouTube. I know a couple of people have asked me to discuss some of my trades and wanted to look at the strategy that I've learned. So I kind of use, let's see if I can minimize this here. So I'm on Carbon Capital Broker MT5. And I only really trade US 30. So this is a trade, well, markup I have for US 30, right? So I draw this fib fan, connect the dots. So the strategy that I learned is called dots. The actual indicator is called lifelines. But we just gave it a nickname dots, obviously, because there's dots. Andy Peter showed us how to connect the dots and trade them, and it's been pretty profitable for me. And one of like the simplest ways for me to learn how to trade, to be honest. So what I did here was connect this anchor point dot to this dot. There was a dot here, and then beyond that. So as you see, I marked this first trend line as the break zone. We're on a 4-hour time frame here. So once you have two solidified dots, as long as you have a swing high before the once the last dot here, you can take the break, candle break. So price clearly broke this right here, closed underneath. So for me, that's why I took this trade here. So you could either wait, if you like to take the retest and take it on the wick, you can. But since it broke and closed and, price kind of tested down, I just went ahead and got in. I was in a little bit of drawdown, not much. Placed my stop loss up here. And then basically rode it to this level because I have I had a buy limit here. And I was thinking that, because of this imbalance and this big rejection here, that price would probably, reject and go back up. But, I mean, it had a lot of momentum and it broke through the support. But it kind of closed, rejected underneath this little wick fill here, this imbalance level. So, it's kind of playing on this second trend line, which is my TP1. Here, and I took, I could have held, honestly, I could have held this trade if I was actually on my computer, but I was on my phone and I was at work, so I just closed it out. As you can see here, 110. I only took it at a 0.01. Really, that's all I've been trading, and the 0.02. So I take the 0.02s when I feel like it's a really good trade, and I want to be able to take partials. So you can't really take partials with the 0.01. You have to let it ride out, or you close your trade out. 0.02, you can kind of let it run and then close it out and let it leave a runner. It just depends on the trade, to be honest. So with this, I'm just waiting. So tonight, either I'm waiting for either the reject off of here. We'll play down to this level, or stay above this trend line, and then we'll continue back up. I did earlier in the day. I did put a buy limit at 206, but clearly, I mean, I would be in a little bit of drawdown, but not really much right now because price is kind of consolidating right here. But we'll see what it does in London session because it tends to move a little bit. Lately, US 30 has been moving in London session. But with this strategy, it's like a support and resistance along with the dots. So here on the 30-minute, we use the trend line. So see from here to here. So I drew this dot. I didn't draw the dot. I drew this trend line from this dot to this dot, right? Let me go ahead and remove this one. Well, actually, I'll leave that there. This dot to dot, right? You want to connect two dots but it's only valid if another swing high is posted after this swing low. So dot to dot, once a swing high is posted, then once price breaks this trend line, you take the sell. So you could have took this sell from here if you want to just take it right once it breaks, or you can wait on candle closure. You can take it down to here. So maybe like 20. So you do 20 pip and dip. If you want to wait for the retest, as you can see, it came back to these levels and a little bit on the trend line. You could have took it here and wrote it down to basically this level here with this dot. You see how it basically price came right to where this swing low is. So it went here to here. You could close that out. If you want what we call wick fills, you could have played off of the rejection here all the way up to this level. You know? So that's what I did. Last week, all of this I played all the way up. I held these trades here thinking that price would bounce here and continue up. I was probably at like 380 here because I got in all the way at the bottom here. 380 here, and then price came all the way down back to entry, past entry. But I had already moved my stop loss and profit, and I was still able to close that trade out and profit risk free. So basically when the trade, say we're playing a rejection and the wick fills here off this gray box zone, once it shot up to about right here past this little resistance level, I would have protected my trade in case price wanted to come back down, close me out. That way you kind of don't really take any losses. You can still close out and profit, or maybe, you know, slight wick or break even. You know, you don't really take any it doesn't really hit stop loss. Now say that if price didn't play off this wick fill, I would have put the stop loss right behind this dot here with about 60. And then once it's going past this way, then I know that my trade was invalid. So that's how I trade the dots. And then I'll trade level to level, or I'll just, you know, kind of see what the market's doing, and I go off of what, you know, the market's giving me. But once I'm just, you know, trading with the trend, level to level, support and resistance. So once it breaks the trend line, 30-minute candle closure, or you can take it as it breaks, whichever, you know, it's your preference. And then typically once it breaks here, you want to move your stop loss to the previous swing high if you're on a sell here. And then say like if you were taking a buy, I'm gonna have to go back. Let's see. Let's go back here. Boom. Say if we took this dot to dot here, right? Once price broke here, boom, up to that level, you would have took it, or you could take it up to this level, honestly. Once it broke this dot to dot, right? Swing low. That means this trend line is valid. Once price broke this trend line, you could take it up. I mean, you could have took it here. You could have held it, but once you take it up to the level, then you can just close it out, right? And your stop loss would have been beneath this. This was news though, so you have to be careful with that. But that's how I trade the trend lines and support and resistance off of the levels I also use Trading View a little bit too, but mainly it's the dots. So if it doesn't break these dot to dots, or if I see like a nice wick fill area here and lots of rejection, then I'll take it to whatever, like here. It gave me a wick, solidified the dot. I drew out wick fill, and then it came back, retested here. Let's go back. Here we are. Okay. All right, here we are. Sorry, I was going the wrong way. So, wick fill here. Once this wick, draw the gray box. Test it here. Test it again. Then I would have took, so after 2 tests on the 30-minute candle, then I probably would have entered here on this rejection of the gray, and then put the stop loss here for like 90, 92, 93 pips. Didn't even come close. Rejection, and it fell all the way down. I mean, you even could have held it to here, and you could have took partials here, and you could have entered at this level. You could have entered another trade, all the way down to where you see it starts slowing down and rejecting to come back in the opposite direction. Then I would have got out. I would have closed the trade, but I probably would have closed the trade somewhere around here. But this is how I trade, and using the dots on Carbon Capital. You can also use it on Trading View. I think it's like pivot high, pivot low, and the trend line breaks. With Raul's strategy, I've been learning on how to read more of like the candle entries and patterns to kind of help me with my own strategy, to kind of perfect that on my entries to get a little bit better. But for the most part, this has been pretty profitable for me. This account started with $450, and right now I'm profited $17.82. So right now my account is almost at 2K. So hopefully the goal is by the end of February we'll be up. We'll be at 2K. And this is how you trade the dots. Yeah, Andy Peters, the real Andy Peters, literally makes it so simple, guys. Like it. I mean, honestly, without this strategy, I don't even know how long it would have took me to figure out how to freaking trade, to be honest. But yeah, this is what works. It's easy. You don't overthink it. Just connect the dots. Once candle breaks, take it.